this game has a peaceful mode, and in peaceful mode, it basically becomes a wilderness survival and camping simulator in a very pretty forest. And so that's what we are going to be enjoying here today. We find ourselves on an island somewhere. Honestly, not sure where, but judging by the vegetation and the general, geography and environment, this is somewhere in the Pacific Northwest of North America. Certainly looks and feels that way. So it's quite familiar to me because this is, that is where I live. We do have a couple of friends here, you might have noticed. So we have this fellow on the right here. He is honestly my best bud. His name is Kelvin. He is fantastic. He is one of the survivors of the crash that brought us here. And he's basically our buddy. He is so helpful. And he is just such a friendly dude, and we must protect him at all costs. Then this other individual here, this lady who might have more limbs than you're accustomed to, despite her initially maybe slightly shocking appearance, she is actually pretty cool. I don't really know her deal. She just kind of came out of the forest and was creeping on us a little bit, and over time she kind of decided we were cool and is hanging out with us now. Honestly, that's the extent of my knowledge about her. So anyway, you might see one or either of them hanging out with us and following around, or just kind of lurking in the bushes as we wander. But they are both very friendly, as far as I can tell, and nothing to be alarmed by. We have built this really cozy little cabin here, me and Kelvin, and got ourselves a comfy little spot by a lazy bend in this here babbling brook. Not a little more than a brook. I guess it's a small river, but it's a beautiful spot. This nice, calm, shallow area, perfect for collecting water and fish, which is what we need to survive. All these cattails here are quite pretty. As you can see, it's a blustery day. The weather does seem to change, so it's possible we might end up with sun or rain or who knows what today. But right now we've got wind and sort of mixed sun and cloud, it looks like. I like how the clouds move through and the sun goes behind the clouds and gets darker for a little bit, just like in real life, and then the sun pops out again and we have the bright warmth. You can also see that ahead of us there's an epic mountain, snow-capped peak, craggy cliffs. I have not yet been up there, but it's quite pretty to look at, and at some point I might brave those heights in order to explore, find out what's up there. Lots of wildlife, lots of birds. I've seen some deer and some squirrels. Let's head up into the forest here. Gonna have to take a little hump there. So we got to the this island in an unfortunate accident. Our helicopters that we were riding in crashed, and that was a little traumatic. Some of the fellows did not make it, but, you know, Kelvin and I did. That's what matters. Kelvin doesn't talk, and he also can't hear. His ears were damaged in the crash, so he is functionally deaf at this point in time. I don't know if that changes later or not. But you know what? He just happily cooperates. He cheerfully does what I ask with a nod and a smile. He's great. He's a bro. And sometimes he just kind of hangs out and kicks back and, you know, smiles. He's great. So, this island is not entirely abandoned. Again, if we were not playing in peaceful mode, we would find that there are cannibals all over the place, and you know, they comprise some of the primary antagonists, I think, in this game. Said cannibals do not seem to exist in peaceful mode. Wildlife still does, both the friendly and the hostile type. These birds are very cute, and they're hanging out on this here golf cart. I don't really know what the deal with the golf carts is, but clearly there used to be some... Oh, I think our lady friend is behind us here. She's a little skittish. Okay, both our friends are with us. She's a little skittish still. I haven't even really interacted with her at all. She doesn't seem to talk either. But, yeah, I think she wants to be friends. She hasn't tried to murder us yet. So, that's cool, I guess. I assume as I continue to play, I will uncover why there are things like golf carts and random equipment caches in various places around this island. The island seems to be really big. I've only really seen a very small portion of it so far. I've seen a beach kind of area, and then this sort of forest environment. I don't know if there are other environment types, maybe well, clearly there's a snowy mountain type environment way up there, and maybe there's, I don't know, swampy areas. I really don't know. But there are, of course, things to forage, like blueberries, salmon berries. These ferns can't be foraged, but they look like bracken ferns to me. These look like bracken. There's some that look like sword ferns. These ones with the smaller fronds, the finer fronds, are bracken. The ones, oh, the wind in the trees is really nice. The ones with the larger fronds would be sword ferns. It's really chill. It's actually remarkable how beautiful and relaxing this game is when there aren't enemies to worry about. I love the sound of the wind in the trees. Oh, this is horsetail. Equisetum. Apparently it's something we can harvest, but I won't worry about it right now. Horsetail is an ancient plant, quite primitive, actually, and I don't mean that in like a judgmental way. I mean it in a sense that it has persisted largely unchanged for millions of years. The dinosaurs roamed around on a landscape with plants very much like modern horsetail. This, I believe, is a white chicory. This plant here. Oh, hey there. How's it going? I love that Kelvin also, oh, you can't really tell, but he has a label, a name tag that says Kelvin right on him. He is such a bro. He's just happy to be here. But we're just kind of wandering. I don't have any particular route in mind here. I don't honestly even know what's out there. I've only explored a very small part of this island. So this appears to be sort of a higher elevation, meadowy area. I feel like the trees are thinning out a little bit as we approach the tree line. Well, we've still got a ways to go before we hit the tree line, but I can hear a little bit of water running way over here. Got some berries here. Some more chicory. How's it going, Kelvin? Oh, we've got a lovely lake down below. Oh, and birds on the lake. Isn't that pretty? Little birds here. I like the birds because they're cute, although I reckon you could also capture and eat them if you wanted to. But looks like we can get down here. Why don't we go check out the lake? These trees are quite pretty too. They look like maples, I think. They remind me a little bit of big leaf maple, although big leaf maple kind of has bigger leaves. So this is maybe some other kind of maple, but it's definitely a maple. Again, here in the hello, lady friend. Yeah, she's a little disconcerting, I won't lie, just because she doesn't really say anything. But and she kind of she said something. She prances around. But seems otherwise okay. Check it out. Mushrooms. Amanita mushrooms, I think. I do believe those are not safe to eat. Although I'm not positive. I'm actually not much of a mushroom guy. Much more of a vascular plants kind of guy. Oh, hey there again, Kelvin. Oh, and a squirrel or a chipmunk just went running into the underbrush there. Yeah, big leaf maple are a common constituent of coastal temperate rainforest in the Pacific Northwest. Well, this is quite pretty, isn't it? We've got some little lily pads. Those could be willows, maybe, growing across the way. They look kind of like willows. I like the gentle sound of the water. I think I heard some ducks just over there. Oh, that's a gorgeous cascade. Look at that waterfall. I hear ducks, but I don't see ducks. Isn't that pretty, though? Oh, the ducks are on the other side of the lake. I can just barely make them out by the far shore. Look at all the smooth stones in the shallows. become smooth over time by the gentle lapping of the water. Such a blustery day. But like I said, I love windy days in the forest. The gentle whooshing of the wind in the canopy. Sometimes it swells and you get sort of goes from the whoosh, like the whoo, to the whoosh, as all the leaves flutter in the wind. Oh, the river sounds so nice here as it flows over all those smooth stones. It's getting a little bit foggy too, which is nice. It's really cranks up the ambience. Did I just see that squirrel fall into the water from the sky? Oh, also, look, there's fish jumping. Salmon jumping. Kelvin is awesome for fishing. You can ask him to fish, he will do it quite happily and bring you fish. Smeagol style. He just kind of grabs them out of the water. But I guess we could snatch those ones up too if we wanted. There's lots of other plants that I recognize growing around. A lot of these trees, the coniferous ones, look quite a bit like Douglas fir. I found some other flowers I know, like this one here. I think this is yarrow. These white flowers, I think, is yarrow. I found some fireweed earlier. I found some devil's club. Look at that view of the mountain. Gorgeous. Oh, there's the ducks. Evidently this game has seasons, so I suppose you have to both prepare to survive in different seasons, but also different seasons probably bring different plants and animals and all kinds of things, different weather for sure. I've noticed that the plants are different in different parts of the map. Like, there are different biomes at different elevations, which is a nice touch. So, if we head back down slope, we'll probably see more kind of coastal plants. Up here, we're seeing stuff that's a little bit more higher elevation. Like the Devil's Club that I saw previously was down closer to the beach, which is exactly where you would find it. It really likes shady, moist sites. You might have noticed that there is a survival stats kind of interface down in the bottom right corner with health and stamina and thirst and hunger and all that stuff. Unfortunately, that appears to be the one part of the UI that I can't turn off. I wish I could because this game is so gorgeous. It really deserves to have a clear UI for screenshots and videos like this. This is so pretty. Look at the dappled shadows on the forest floor. Gentle bird song. Look at the light just catching these leaves. This looks like a mountain rhododendron type plant. I'm not quite sure, but it's got small little white flowers. I feel like I should know what this is. Oh, there's Kelvin. He never leaves our side. Some of these other plants look like they could be salal. Salal is a very common understory shrub in the Pacific Northwest. In coastal temperate rainforests, it likes shady understory. We've got a small little baby fir here, which is kind of cute. Just a young one, and a small maple too. I think it's starting to get a bit later in the afternoon now. Or the sun's just behind the clouds. Hard to tell. I thought this might be another mushroom, but I think it's just a... Oh no, it is a mushroom. Again, I'm not a big mushroom guy, so I'm not actually sure what that is, but... Almost looks like a puffball, you know? This looks a lot like salal. Although, if you look carefully, look closely, there are little veins, not veins, but, you know, ridges on the leaves, which salal does not have. They have smooth, shiny leaves. Yo, what's up, Kelvin? So I'm not quite sure what those are supposed to be, but... More berries. Clusters of blueberries, but it doesn't look like a blueberry plant. I think it might be though, because I have encountered blueberries elsewhere in this game. So, lots of berries up here. I do wish I could also remove the prompts to pick things. And also the subtle flashing of the... Oh, look at it's a deer. Looks like a young one. That's a fawn. With the speckled back. Oh, we scared it. Or Kelvin did. I'm not sure. Or three-legged, three-armed forest lady did. She just... Wait, is she bringing us a fish? She's carrying a fish. Okay, well, I appreciate it, but we'll just keep walking. We'll just... Maybe she can give us the fish later. That's very kind of her, but, not gonna be eating any fish on our gentle wander here. Probably. Anyway, I mean, I guess we could. Oh, I see what looks like through the trees an encampment over there. And if I was not playing on easy mode, that encampment would be occupied by cannibals, or so I gather. I found another one elsewhere, and let's just say there were remnants of past meals there. So I presume that's what's there too. Look at this big spider web between the trees here. It's getting very windy now, listen to it. It's headed towards stormy. I'm not sure if it's going to start raining. I have encountered rain and thunder and lightning in this game thus far, but the sun is getting a bit low in the sky, but we still have some daylight left, and it makes for beautiful sunlight coming through the trees. Oh, it's getting very windy indeed. A proper windstorm. This would be the kind of scenario where if we were actually out walking in the forest, we might want to get out from under the trees because you never know what kind of branches and such are going to be dropping. Bumped into something. Oh, a log. Yeah, when it goes from blustery day to full-on windstorm in the forest, you generally do want to get clear of where the falling branches might smack you. Oh, would you look at that? There's a helicopter in the trees there. Now that might belong to one of our allies. Maybe they survived and managed to land, whereas we crashed. That I'm not sure, but you know what? I don't really care about that right now because we are on our relaxing walk. Oh, it is getting so blowy though. Wow, I think a storm must be moving in. Let's just drop down here. I do see over here though what looks like a lovely lake shore. And maybe this will be a good place for us to get away from all the trees. You know, it's actually really neat because I don't think I've ever seen a windstorm portrayed so believably in a game before. I will say for how much the trees are moving. The water is remarkably still. It would be nice to see it kicked up a little bit in some white caps or little waves, you know. Worth noting though that this game is in early access still, and I suspect that, you know, there's a lot yet to be added. Oh, duckies. Yet to be added. Maybe some any more effects and things. It looks like the sun is setting, you guys. I really want to get over there so we can see the sunset, but I don't know that we're going to be able to get there in time. But let's just pick up the pace a tiny bit. Look at the lighting in those clouds. That's beautiful. The way the setting sun is illuminating them. It just looks like there's like a cliff edge over here from which we might be able to get a nice view of the setting sun. Or some kind of vantage point. Maybe just over here. Maybe it just looks that way, maybe that's not the case, but it kind of seems like it. was The Witcher 3. Winds howling, of course. Similar kind of vibes. Well, I think we kind of made it. Yes, we did. Here we are. We found our vantage point. The sun itself has largely disappeared behind the trees, but look, between the trees in the far distance, you can make out the ocean. We didn't get to the beach today, but maybe in a future video we will. Because I would be happy to do another video in Sons of the Forest, despite its content and reputation. I have found the environments to be remarkably relaxing in the peaceful mode, and we've got a little bit of a windstorm here, but it was still a really beautiful wander. And, we can head back to our cozy cabin, get nice and warm by the fire, have a good sleep on our gentle little river with our strange but friendly companions. I love the way the clouds look right now. Gosh, this is gorgeous. Well, thank you so much for joining me on this relaxing Sons of the Forest wander, my friends. And I look very forward to having you back here next time. Farewell for now. And an extra special thanks to everybody who supports this channel on Patreon and through YouTube memberships. They are all listed here, and I appreciate them all so much. But there is one tier that gets a special spoken shout out, and that is the Fus Roda tier. So our Fus Roda patrons for this month are Drummer Brit, Jake Luffney, Rango Steele, Blacktooth Bob, and Angel Garcia. And our brand new Fus Roda tier YouTube members for this video are Ragnar Ragnarsson and Captain Vanquisher, aka Emperor Vanquisher. If you are interested in getting some exclusive perks and supporting the channel while you're at it, be sure to check out the links to my Patreon and my YouTube memberships down in the video description. Once again, thank you so very much, Patreon.